What's going on? Hazellief here, and I got to give a huge shout out to Hawgleg Johnson. He's the one that the music that you're about to hear. Just a second. He's the one that created it. This is his channel up here. Go over there, give him a sub, let him know the Armed Fisherman sent you, and leave your comment down below what you think about this song, because I think it's really fitting as we get into this deposition. So let's hop right into this.
In the small town where the good old boys reside, they break their own laws and take folks for a ride. They lock 'em up tight without a second thought. First Amendment down, another battle lost. In every board meeting, they lay down the rule. No hats, no flip-flops, they take us for fools. High on the power, they laugh and they scheme. Freedom's just a word in the good old boys' dream. They sit in their seats with a smug little grin, throwing folks in jail for the color of their skin. But one day they fall, their castles will fade, and the good old boys' laws will crumble away.
Now we're about to get into the now we're going to get into the depositions, and I got to give a shout out to Change Okeechobee. You're probably seeing it up here. Go give him a sub, because this is where I got all the depositions that you're about to see. I'm trying to break through some of the stuff, so there are cuts, there are edits. Some of it's, it is what it is, but if you want to see these full videos, uncut, go over to Change Okeechobee. Links are in the description, and he's got those pretty much unedited. I'm just trying to give you all the juice. So we're going to start with this one, and I'm sure there's going to probably be at least a 2 or maybe even a 3rd video after this. So let's do it.
Of Noel Stephen, taken in the matter of Saeed Akhtar Khan MD versus Noel Stephen et al. This deposition is being held at 1601 Forum Place, Suite 505, West Palm Beach, Florida. Today's date is May 9th, 2024. The time is 10:10 a.m.
Where did you go after becoming a correctional officer?
I went through crossover training to become a deputy sheriff.
And what year do you think that was?
90-ish.
Okay. I represent Dr. Saeed Khan. Do you know Dr. Khan?
Yes, sir.
And how do you know him?
We grew up together, in my opinion.
Okay. When you say you grew up together, what do you mean by that?
His practice and my practice have been side to side for 30 years.
Okay. What's your practice?
Law enforcement.
Okay. What's his practice?
Medical.
Okay. Are you familiar with a person named Teresa Bishop, or now known as Teresa Chandler?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're going to refer to her, for simplicity's sake, as Chandler, Miss Chandler, even though we know she was known as Miss Bishop. Could you tell me approximately how long you've known her for?
Just guessing 20 years.
Okay. Did you ever have an occasion to receive requests from her in her capacity at waste management for the use of inmate labor?
Yes, sir.
Looking at Exhibit 1, are you familiar with, first of all, the Sheriff's Youth Camp?
Yes, sir.
And the gun range?
Yes, sir.
So this was a request for inmate labor, I guess, from the Sheriff's Youth Camp. And it has required attendees. And could you explain to me who those people are that are required to attend?
This is the calendar that goes into all of these people's, the required attendees, calendars who are all Sheriff's Office staff.
Okay.
To let them know that the limited amount of tables and chairs that we have are loaned out at that time.
Okay. Now, is this also a request for inmate labor to use to help set this up?
Well, yes, sir.
Okay. In this memo, page 2 of Exhibit 1, is that the jail allowed inmate labor and items to be used for Justin White's daughter's wedding?
Correct.
Okay. I asked you about inmate labor. Are these inmates that are actually housed at the Okeechobee County Jail?
Correct.
Okay. And are they special trustee status or something of that nature?
No, they're sentenced. Excuse me, they're sentenced inmates.
Okay. Elva Cannon benefit event. Could you tell me what that is?
She's a part of the, I think, the fishing club at the time, and they were doing a fundraiser for the bass club, high school bass club.
And this is a private club?
No, it's a high school club.
Okay, so you're saying it's a high school club, but I mean, is it what high school would it?
Okeechobee High School.
Okay. And again, the question is, you had no issue with using inmate labor and tables and chairs for that event?
No.
Church of God Revival is on the next page. Are you familiar with that revival?
Church event.
Okay. And again, same questions. This is a use of inmate labor for this event.
Correct.
Okay. I think the one more important is probably the last page. It says Brat Club Butterfly Garden and the location is WM. What do you know that to be?
That's the Brat Club Butterfly Garden that was at the entrance at Waste Management.
Okay. And it says assist with Butterfly Garden 3 hours?
Correct.
And then contact Teresa Bishop?
Correct.
Now, do you understand this to be that sometime between June 27, 2019 and June 28, 2019, inmate labor was used to assist Teresa Bishop at the Brat Club Butterfly Garden?
Correct.
Okay, 3 hours.
Correct.
Okay. And do you recall Miss Bishop actually asking you, sorry, Miss Campbell, we'll call her, asking you...
Chandler, you mean?
Did I say, I meant Chandler?
You said
Thank
Campbell.
I meant Chandler. Miss Chandler asking you specifically for this request?
I don't recall that specifically, no, sir.
Okay. Are you familiar with an allegation made by Miss Chandler against Dr. Khan back in approximately May of 2020 regarding improper touching or things of that nature?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could you tell us how you first learned of that allegation by Miss Chandler?
I honestly don't recall exactly how I recall or was first notified.
Okay. And before I go further questions, have you had a chance to review the amended complaint in this case?
I haven't read anything to do with anything.
Okay. So you haven't read any complaint at all in this
I
matter?
haven't read anything of anything.
Okay. And you've read no exhibits then?
No, sir.
Okay. When Miss Chandler went to the sheriff's office to report the event that she alleged against Dr. Khan, do you recall if a download of her phone was taken?
I think that did happen, yes, sir, upon her complaint.
Okay. And could you explain to me what that means, a download of the phone?
Yeah, her phone is turned into as evidence, and all documents or anything entailed inside the phone is downloaded as evidence.
Okay. And do you know how that mechanism works?
No, sir.
Okay. But is this a standard law enforcement technique?
In these type of cases, yes, sir.
Okay.
Bless you.
And did you authorize this phone to be downloaded, or did it have anything to do with you?
Had nothing to do with me.
Okay. Before we get to that incident, I want to talk a little bit about your relationship with Ms. Chandler based upon these text messages. So we've got various text messages going back. Let's start on the first page, August 4th, 2017. It's a question, can you talk? And it's to a phone number, 863. Are you familiar with that phone number?
Yes, sir.
Is that your cell phone?
Yes, sir.
Is that the cell phone you've had since that time back in 2017?
Yes, sir.
Same cell phone number?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is that a cell phone that paid for by the sheriff's office?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's subject to public records
Yes, sir.
request? Okay. On August 4, 2017, there's a comment, I hope your calls aren't recorded. If so, you've got big ammo now. Do you know what that meant, that first comment?
No clue.
Okay. There's a conversation, actually there's an attachment of a letter from you to Teresa Chandler Bishop. Do you see that letter?
Barely.
Okay. Is it possible you wrote an actual letter to her?
Very possibly, yes, sir.
Okay. This appears to be a letter dated September 18, 2019 from Noel E. Stephen to Teresa Chandler Bishop. Can you take a moment just to read it? When you're done reading, just let me know, sir.
Well, and I'll just put an objection to the form. It doesn't occur that it's to Miss Chandler Bishop.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just want to start with the first sentence of this letter. I personally and professionally known Teresa Chandler Bishop for approximately 20 years. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, sir.
So that would have been accurate as of September 18, 2019?
Thereabouts, yes, sir.
Okay. So now maybe you've known her for 24, 25 years, fair to say?
Okay.
Okay. During this time, we've worked together on numerous community events and projects. Is that an accurate statement?
Correct.
Okay. Then in the second paragraph, you have a sentence, being a close friend, I know that her personal health has been a significant challenge in allowing her to participate. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, sir.
And when you were using the term close friend back in 2019, what did you mean?
Close friend?
Okay. I speak with her and her husband on a regular basis and know that there have been slight improvement. Who is her husband you're referring to there?
Tony Bishop.
Okay. How well did you know Tony Bishop at that time?
Know him well?
And how long?
Don't know.
More than 10 years?
I don't know. Thereabouts.
Okay. At this time back in 2019, how long do you think you knew him?
I don't think it was 10 years then, if you're going to count year to year.
Okay. Now, do you recall the reason you wrote this letter?
No, sir.
Okay. And do you know why it was found on a text message?
Because I guess I'd done it for her.
Okay. Is there any reason to believe you didn't write this letter?
No.
Okay. There's a conversation started apparently by you, or at least from you, to Miss Bishop, to Miss Chandler, excuse me, saying, I have someone to spoil. I like having someone to spoil. What did you mean by that?
Not really sure.
And then she said, and you do a great job at it. What do you think she meant?
Not
Objection
really
to the form, you can answer.
Is there any reason to believe that you didn't have that conversation?
No, I mean, the conversation was had. There was text messages that were shared between the two of us. I was a single man. Has no bearing on anything to do with this case.
Okay. Now, January 16, 2018 at 5:33, according to this, there's a reference to Dream Girl and Dream Boy. Were those the phrases that you all were calling each other?
As she was flirtatious in her text messages, once again, it's inappropriate text messages between she and I when I was dating my now current wife. Has no bearing on this case.
And then at the bottom of page 3, there's a text on 7/12/2018 asking for a few trustees that can help me plant at around 5 o'clock. Do you see that request?
Yes, sir.
Does that seem to coincide with the request we just went through in Exhibit 1?
I believe so. It's got to do with the butterfly garden at Waste Management.
Did you ever receive a legal opinion on whether it was appropriate or legal to use inmate trustees in this manner?
No,
Form.
You never did?
No, sir.
Okay. And are you familiar with the statutes regarding inmate labor?
Yes, sir.
Form, relevance.
The conversations apparently are just you-friendly conversations back and forth. Is that fair to say?
Okay.
Okay. I mean, is that what they seem to be, or is there something else?
Friendly conversation.
Okay. Now, at the bottom here on July 13, 2018, you stated to her, special lady gets special treatment. And what do you mean by that?
Form, you can answer.
Just flirtatious, unrelated text.
Now, was she married at the time you made that?
I'm not sure.
You didn't know whether she was married to Mr. Bishop?
No, sir.
You reference her husband there. So would it be fair to say that on September 18, 2019, you knew she was married to Mr. Bishop?
I didn't know anything, sir.
Well, let's go back to 2A, just so maybe I'm confused. Could you look at 2A and tell me whether you reference her husband or not?
That's, I don't know at the time that when I was sending this text, it was flirtatious text between my wife and I. The problems that I had with that.
I understand, so all I'm asking is on September 18, 2019, will you
I'm
agree?
not sure if she was married or not, sir.
But you wrote that in your letter.
Objection to form, relevance.
Okay.
Okay, so you told me this was an accurate letter, so.
To the best of my recollection, yes, sir.
Okay. Again, these texts that are on this page, are you agreeing are flirtatious in nature?
Correct.
Okay. So you felt comfortable enough to share these types of texts with Mrs. Chandler?
Yes.
Okay. On September 16, 2019, you texted her, "I will do anything you ask of me." Could you tell me what you meant by that?
Form.
Just flirtatious.
Well, would you have done anything she asked you? at that
No,
point?
sir.
Okay. And then she says, "Careful, I might just blindfold you so you don't know what you're doing." Is that a flirtatious response?
Correct.
Form,
Okay.
speculation, you can answer.
Page 9 of these text messages, September 25th, 2019. You're going back and forth with her, with what you agree would be the sexual innuendos?
Form.
Flirtatious text.
Okay. We had April 16th, 2020, and these are texts between you and her. Do you know whether on April 16th, 2020, Miss Chandler had advised you of what had happened allegedly to her by Dr. Khan?
I don't recall when I first learned about the allegations of Dr. Khan.
Okay. Again, there's conversations back and forth between you and Miss Chandler about reporting crimes, for example. Do you see that? The top of page 11.
Okay.
Okay. Who is Captain Coleman?
Runs my road patrol.
Okay. So would it have been normal for you to refer her to the person that runs road patrol?
To assign her a deputy if she had a complaint.
Okay. And when you say assign her a deputy, are you the person who assigns deputies, or?
No, if I was, I would assign the deputy. Captain Coleman's the one that assigns it.
Okay. So at that time, back in May 22nd, 2018, Captain Coleman would assign deputies?
That's they always do it. I don't assign deputies.
Okay. And there's a reference on March 13, 2019, of Miss Chandler asking you about waiting for an appointment. And you respond, well, who needs to be tased, arrested, or beat up to get it done? Were you just joking when you said that?
Correct.
Okay. A question's asked of her on June 8, 2019. Don't you have a room for the homeless? I'm up for adoption. You know what that was in reference to?
Don't have a clue.
Okay. But your response is, oh, don't I wish? Why did you respond that way?
Flirtatious texts.
Okay. And then you texted her on August 20th, 2019. You sunbathing naked again? Why did you ask her that question?
Flirtatious texts.
Had you seen her sunbathing naked?
No, sir.
Okay. So you just made that up?
Flirtatious texts.
Okay. So that's a yes, you made it up.
Flirtatious texts.
But you had not seen her sunbathing naked?
I already answered that, sir.
It's no, right?
It's no.
Okay.